Happy Independence Day weekend, people. This is such a great feeling, eh? Getting out of town, getting out of work, hitting the open road. Now, I grew up in small military cantonments and most of them had like just one road heading out of town. And that road led to, the city or the next city. But it was rife with possibility. And for a 15-year-old, getting out on that road was my first real brush with freedom. And like so many young Indians in the early 2000s, the Royal Enfield 350 was my vehicle out on that road.
This is a story about inheritance. The kind that seeps into your bones when you grow up in a country where a particular motorcycle is everywhere. Where getting that motorcycle for yourself is a rite of passage into manhood. This is my 1986 cast iron 350. She's a manifestation of all the classic notions of good taste and beauty. Her lines, pardon the gender, run seamlessly without a hard corner anywhere. Beautiful retro dials, a flower-shaped fuel tank cap, the trademark bulging headlamp, and those lovely round mudguards. A couple of nasty gashes from when someone backed into her, but apart from those, she's in great shape. She's taken me to Ladakh, to Sikkim, through terrain she had no business going to. But that's all in the past. I don't get to ride her much anymore. She's not road legal. But in another 10 years, she will be a bona fide vintage. But this story is not about her.
So many years back, well before this current crop of Enfields came around, Enfield had come out with this advertisement, quite memorable. It said, "We've been different by staying the same." Still remember that. A few years back, I was in Bangkok. I was at the Hunter 350 launch, and I was chatting with Siddharth Lal, the main guy at Eicher who's responsible for Enfield as we know it today. And I was telling him about my motorcycle and how everything I know about motorcycles comes from there and how it's so unique and how they don't make them like that anymore. And he looked at me and said, you're one of those guys. And I wondered what he meant. And I realized what he meant was I was one of those guys who was resisting the change that had come to Enfield. And I suppose he gets a lot of that. But he was right. I am prejudiced. And when I think classic, I think that motorcycle. Now the Hunter 350 was a different motorcycle, so it was no problem, but I have assiduously avoided riding anything that is a modern retro classic. And until now, this one certainly looks the part, doesn't it? So have they stayed different by staying the same or haven't they? We'll find out. Let's go. Let's see what you got, babe.
Let's start with what hits you first. The way this motorcycle looks, and it is absolutely stunning. The flowing lines from the big round headlamp all the way back to the curved rear fender, it all comes together beautifully. And unlike some retro bikes that end up looking like they're playing dress up, this one does feel genuinely authentic. Under that retro skin sits RE's proven 648cc parallel twin. The same engine that powers the Interceptor, the Continental GT, the Super Meteor, the Shotgun and the Bear. Puts out 47 horsepower at 7,250 RPM and 52 Newton meters of torque. Now those aren't exceptionally big numbers on paper, but the way this engine delivers its power is the real story. The torque comes in low and stays consistent through the mid-range, which means overtaking in the city or settling into a highway cruise at 80 to 100 km per hour feels quite comfortable. From the rider's seat, the exhaust note through those dual pea shooter pipes is pleasant but certainly not overwhelming. But from the outside, it sounds absolutely gorgeous.
You know, all of us take our freedom for granted, and I think it was only in 2020 when the coronavirus lockdowns happened that all of us realized just how precious and fragile our freedom is. I got myself a Mahindra Thar and I went to climb a rock, something I was mortified of. See how that turned out. Oh boy, the Thar is fun, eh? The Thar is fun. Well, you know, this car wasn't on my short list, but that was before the lockdown. And this whole question of which car to buy, and it became bigger than itself. It became an analogy for life's questions. So, and I was like, Miraj, what do you want to do with your life? What are your priorities? How do you want to spend your time? And the answers I came up with were, I want to push my boundaries, I want to push the frontiers, I want to challenge myself mentally and physically. And I was like, I want a car that will take me wherever I want to go. And by that yardstick, the Thar ticks all the boxes. And it's fun. The Thar's got me all the way here. Now I've got to make it on my own steam. This one looks easier, but it's not. It's scary. It's scary, man. On Independence Day, we remember our freedom fighters who fought for and gave their lives for the freedom struggle. But I think it's really important to remember nameless soldiers who were taken by the British to fight their wars for them around the world. I was in Jodhpur and I met Rajat Singh there. He told me this extraordinary story about his grandfather who had fought for the British, won a medal, that medal was lost, and how Rajat got it back. I met Rajat because he had an Ambassador Avigo, a car that I had acquired when I grew up. I think I got it because it reminded me of my childhood. It wasn't a great car, but I loved it anyway. And there are just so many stories I would not have been able to tell, so many people I would not have met had I not owned that car.
Rajat narrated an incredible story about how he tracked down his great-grandfather's medal awarded for combat in the First World War all the way to a collector in Canada and then subsequently to an ex-officer of the British Army in London. We're staying in Rajat's old ancestral house, a pretty century-old Haveli that he's converted into a homestay. Right across is a garage where he parks and works on his cars. The ride in the Mercedes was great, but what I really want to have a look at is his Ambassador Avigo, a car that I happen to own and love.
Hi.
What's happening? Wow.
Just checking a bit.
Oh, your mug is nice, but this, what a cracker of an Avigo, yeah, beautiful. This car is how Rajat and I got acquainted in the first place. As owners of a car that's gone out of production, we met on online forums where people hunt for hard to find spare parts. The first time I saw pictures of Rajat's Avigo, I was blown away by what he's done with it. Launched in the 2000s, the Avigo was a last-ditch attempt to leverage the Ambassador's retro appeal. And it's such a shame that this car wasn't produced to acceptable standards of quality and finish, because the story for Hindustan Motors might have turned out very differently had that been the case.
So Miraj, this is my grandfather's. This was in Salarno, Captain Thakur Dungar Singh.
Dungar Singh.
Indian State Forces.
Indian State Force. They were called the Indian State Force.
Yeah, because it was the Maharaja's unit.
This is beautiful. Yeah?
This is the Lost Star, 1914-15 cross, First World War. This one was given for action in France.
Right.
Those who were in action
Right.
were given this, who actually fought. They were not just sitting stationed there.
Almost 150,000 Indian soldiers died overseas in World Wars I and II. Wars that these men were unwittingly embroiled in simply because India was colonized by the British. Their crucial contribution to the Allied war effort is only beginning to get the acknowledgement it deserves.
Finally, an open stretch of road, that's the beauty of it. You get into your car, you drive out, and eventually you will leave the city behind. I often find myself thinking about that narrow road that led out of the little town I grew up in. The one that could take a 15-year-old anywhere he wanted or anywhere his imagination would go to. You know, things have changed since then. The roads are wider, they are better. The machines have changed. In fact, all the machines I love are in the Heritage Transport Museum. But this feeling of getting behind the wheel, driving out on an open road, knowing there's an entire country out there waiting for you, is indescribable. It felt like freedom back then, and it feels like freedom now. Happy Independence Day, people.